Welcome, one and all, amazing agents, investors, and estate sale company representatives from across the U.S. Sometimes I fail to welcome people other than realtors. You know, we do have a variety of clients out there, and we appreciate all of you. Today is Thursday, March 1st, 2018, and this is Mastermind call number 166. Tremendous turnout. We already have 4 people in the queue, so probably be the last time I have to say it today. If you would like to actively participate, just hit *6 and then hit 1, and we will unmute you one at a time. Partners, anything you want to add, Tim?
The only thing I was going to kind of point out is we're getting, kind of frequently asked kind of the same questions, and one of the things I just wanted to sort of highlight is that people are always asking us how effective the process is and, how the system works and all of that. And just wanted to, we always have folks who've just joined us on this call, and we recommend, obviously, that you do 3 letters and 3 phone calls, and we've set up automation to handle all of that. And people are, frequently wanting to know what our results are based on the ISA and, literally the program working. And as it sits right now, the results we're getting are just, amazing, and we're real happy about that. And I'm always reluctant to say them because obviously your results can vary, but right now, if you're literally, they're getting about 3 listing appointments out of every 100 leads. And that's just tremendous. As you well know, you can kind of look at your market and see how that's going. That's a pretty good result. So we're real happy about that, and we'd be happy to talk to you some more about it if you need to have some additional conversation. But it's an amazing system, and we're really, really tickled with the way it's working out and the success that people are having. So rock on, let's get more going.
Well said. Chad, anything you want to share with the group before we get started?
No, I don't have anything today.
All right, Mastery is done. We won't start talking about the next one for a few weeks, but third, I'm assuming mid-September, mid to late. Okay, go ahead.
Last month we had, I had a couple dozen people that were kind of waiting for Mastery. Just so if there's anyone on the call who didn't take it last month, it didn't work out, we do video record. Every training that we do is recorded. So if you want to sign up for March Mastery, I don't have the dates yet because I'll be traveling and I have to set up I'm working from a co-working space in March, and I haven't been able to get there and speed test the internet. So I try to make sure that I have good, solid internet in a quiet space because it's important that I deliver the best I can for you guys. So if you don't want to wait for me to book the March training, you can go ahead and sign up now, and I'll send you the February recordings. And then as soon as I have set dates for the March course, then you'll be registered for the live session. And if you already, went ahead and did the recordings, you're still welcome to join us for the live sessions. And that goes for the rest of, our existence. Like we had, I think last month we had 5 people who had taken Mastery previously that came back through the course. So at any time, if you want to come again, you're welcome to come to the live sessions. But my travel schedule, it's challenging to get 3 days in a row where I'm absolutely certain I have quiet office space and good internet. So that's the reason that we don't have a full schedule for the rest of the year. I know that's probably not the ideal answer for everybody, but it is what it is. So if you want to get signed up, you can sign up now. I'll send you the recordings as soon as you sign up. And if you have any questions after watching those, you can book some one-on-one time with me. It's a lot easier to get, if you watch the recordings, it's easy to get access to me on the phone. It's not, Anyway, so if you want to do that, you can look under Education and Training in the subscriber portal in the top menu, and Mastery is there's your course outline and kind of details on it if you want to get signed up.
Perfect. And Tom, anything you want to share with the group?
I think a couple things. Number one, I believe next week is the first Wednesday of the month, and we'll have that live role play, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. Yep. 2 o'clock. Same phone number. 2 o'clock Eastern time. Hour later than this call, but on Wednesday, next Wednesday, the first Wednesday in April, 2 o'clock Eastern. Just call into the same number. It's similar but completely different than this call in that depending how many people show up, I think we typically do mute you out and do one at a time to keep the noise factor down. But the difference is this is more of an open forum. That really, I always say it's kind of like Jeopardy. Make it in the form of a role play, and you can be the homeowner. Chad will be the agent, and just hit us with places where you're getting stuck. Maybe you need help with language, objections you don't know how to answer, and please share successes. We've learned so much from you guys. We've had so many good techniques, suggestions, comebacks, answers to objections that have come from you on these calls. So we really welcome the participation, and that goes anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes. We'll keep it less than an hour, but typically it's a little shorter than this call. But yeah, thanks, Tom, for the reminder. That is next Wednesday, 2:00 Eastern. And then you said you had something else you wanted to share, Tom?
No, just my normal that, we're here to help. That's what we want to do, is to help everyone be as successful as possible. So don't hesitate to reach out to us to support at alltheleads.com, or if you're in your account area, just go to underneath the support side and just contact us, and we track all those items, and we'll get back to you as quickly as possible.
And be as specific as possible about what you need help with. That way the right person will probably get back to you the first time. All right, excellent. Well, we have 3 people in the queue. We got plenty of room for more, guys. Just hit *6 and hit 1. And first up today, it looks like one of our frequent contributors, Jim Forsythe. You are up, and I am – okay, let me go ahead and let me unmute you. Jim, you're up, sir. Go ahead.
Hey, Jim and Chad, how are y'all today?
Wonderful.
How are you?
Thanks as always for being here.
Oh, you're welcome. This is success, and also very, very unusual situation. I closed my first probate deal last Thursday.
Ring the bell.
Absolutely, and it was both sides, which was very difficult in acting as a dual agent. Here we call it a transaction broker. There were things you could say to each person that you couldn't say to the other side. But we had difficulty in getting the package from Atlanta back to Memphis for the seller. It got lost twice. And we finally got the seller's package into his attorney this morning. And crazy, but 2 packages came in. One that was lost that made it here, and then the package that the seller sent yesterday. And so everybody just hang in there. The system does work. This one was one where I actually put one of my other probate leads. She was the buyer in this instance, and I represented her as the buyer, then hopefully listing her property in a week or 2. And then she purchased the home of another probate that we had in Midtown. So success, but some difficulties, but you work them out.
So
well, that's great, Jim.
2 listing sides and a buy side off of that, right?
I've got listing side and a sell side off of one, and then I'll get the listing
and then
side
you'll get another
on
listing.
Correct.
That's great.
Fantastic. We say all the time, Jim. We tell agents if you find out the real estate sold or there is no real estate, remember you're talking to somebody who just inherited a couple $100,000, and that applies equally well to someone when there is real estate. Don't abandon them when they close. Remember, they just had a big financial windfall. They can be a great candidate for upgrading the house they're in or buying an investment property. So great job at helping a lot of people and squeezing a really good payday out of the deal for yourself. Congratulations.
Yeah, this one will be, and I've got signed another deal. It's a young lady whose mother passed, and this is a very inexpensive property. The contract's going to be for $52,000, and we're having to help her through the probate process as a daughter, and so that's a separate deal. But one of my companies I deal with that has investors is going to be the buyer in this case, and I'll be listing this property. So just don't ever know. And this is a case where helping someone more than, because there's only like a $1,500 commission involved, but they all count.
Sure. And Jim, congratulations. You weren't gangbusters out of the box. I mean, you've hung in there. And go ahead, Tim. You wanted to ask a question, but I was going to also ask you, what do you attribute your success to, other than perseverance?
That was it. And then Chad finally convinced me, and you convinced me to. I am now doing Mailbox Motivator, and waiting on first leads from that. But I've got letters going out now on a regular basis, and so if I had done that from the start, those that are listening, I would probably had more success already. But I thought I could do it myself, and I got caught up where I was too far behind on letters, and so I just you just hang in there. It's going to work.
Awesome. And Tim, you had a comment or a question? Was that Tim?
No, that was actually Chad, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm not going to say "told you so," Jim. What I did want to say,
you just did,
was that on those smaller deals like that, I just wanted to remind you, you can charge a flat fee commission. So even if it's a $25,000 house, you know, if you're going to have to do the same amount of work and you're not comfortable, you know, doing that for a $1,500 commission, if you have a good relationship, it's usually really easy to get them to sign. Like, you know, you could say anything under $100,000, we charge a flat $3,000 commission. So you can make a better payday, and typically those people are going to see the value in that. So just think about that next time. If you are taking a $50,000 house and there's equity in it, you know, you could, instead of saying we do it at 3%, you know, you could say, well, you know, we'll do this for X amount of dollars, and then you know, decide what you want to offer as a co-op. But just a reminder that, you know, you can still make this, you know, good money even on the lower priced properties.
But basically, that's what I've done on this one, except in this case, the young lady's only going to walk away with $5,000 or $6,000, and because there was a mortgage still hanging out there, and so I'm taking the $50,000, 3% is $1,500, which $1,500 basically is the lowest that I usually go. Just closed one, not a probate, but just closed another deal that was $42,000, and I put in a $1,500. They were offering a $1,000 commission for the sale side, and I put the $1,500. The seller accepted it. And so on the $42,000, I made making $1,500 as well. So yeah, we can ask for whatever we want. It's just a matter of negotiating it as we go.
Great job, Jim.
Chad, you did say I told you so, and you were right.
Said he wasn't going to say it, but then he said it. Honestly,
right.
Guys, if for anyone who's on the call rolling their eyes at me, if I've unloaded on you about mail, it's because I personally lost a lot of money doing my own mail. And when I sit down and did the math, I felt like a fool. You know, the average real estate agent in this country makes $48,000 a year. Well, that means the average dollar amount of an hour is worth $50. So most people on this call, your time's worth $75 to $200 an hour. And if you're stuffing envelopes, it's usually not the best use of your time. You could be doing dollar productive activity and prospecting, meeting attorneys, things like that. So I'm glad to hear you put it on our plate and that you don't have to think about it anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody
great job, Jim. Thank you. You too. Thank you so much for contributing. Next up is another familiar person. Belinda, you're up next.
Yeah. How you doing? Quickly, 2 or 3 things. First thing is I'm running into cases where people have family members that are living in the property. They can't necessarily move out right away. So my question to you all is inheritance funding. do you all have certain companies you use or certain advice you can give in terms of me screening inheritance funding companies, or but they give an advance based on if the person sells a house, I guess they reimburse them the money, but they will give them monies up front as a way to help people get family members out and moved so they can then sell the property.
We haven't really worked with any, and we certainly haven't endorsed any. I would say, what you want to be careful of is make sure that you clearly understand the interest and the payments on it. I'm guessing those are probably high interest loans, kind of like payday loans or legal settlement advances.
Okay.
So just be careful that you're not putting them in a situation where they're paying 30% interest on the money, and you need to make sure they're calculated. Make sure you understand how the interest is being calculated. So if they're just charging 10%, but they're calculating it as a weekly interest, that's going to be more than if it were a monthly or an annual interest. So just get, make sure whoever you're suggesting has very clear disclosures of the cost of the service.
Okay.
And the other alternative, Belinda, is just simply create your own service. So go to one of your investors. I mean, we had someone on a call not too long ago that actually took a deal to a pawn shop broker. And, pawn shop brokers they've done all kinds of different creative financing things. So I think like the pawn shop broker actually loaned the family money against the estate. So you might be able to use private money to accomplish the same thing. And it could be a lot simpler. I mean, you might be able to do it within your own network and have some control over that interest rate.
Okay, and that's a good idea, the second one, because the last thing I want to do is to take some of these families that are already struggling to get people out and then get them tied into something that's similar to a payday loan, where it just really drowns you ultimately. But at any rate, okay, then the other question was, the stats that you all typically mention in terms of success, and I know it varies across the markets and things like that, is based on about 100 leads. So you say about maybe 3 listings, give or take, per 100, okay? On average, how many leads do people order on average? I mean, I'm doing just 50. I just bumped it up this past month to 83. So I'm just trying to see if I'm ordering such a low number of leads, the calculation will be a little bit different, but so I'm just wondering what's on average. I mean,
typically you don't. Most people don't have an option. I mean, there's only so many leads in your county. It's not like pay per click where we can up the budget and produce more leads.
But
the average across the
county,
country, if you look nationwide, the average is 86 per county. But averages are dangerous. I mean, there's some markets where we get 10 or 12 because the estates are such low value, and there's some markets where we get 700.
That's
so
like the one.
Really, I mean, if you want more leads, you just need to look into adjacent counties. Just kind of grow your footprint.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I can always get more because in my county, there's a lot more to be had. And So that's why I just wondered if it would make sense for me to up it. I just upped it to the neighboring county because the neighboring county, the property values are higher. So even if I only got 1 or 2, then the return would be big. So I did it based on that. And then also, I noticed that during the beginning of the call, you welcomed estate sale companies and some other entities as well. So I just wanted to ask if there's any estate sale companies that happen to work in PG County, Maryland, or Montgomery County, Maryland, if they would contact me. I'm trying to find one. I actually referred a estate sale company to a potential client, and then followed up a week or so later, and they said, they just said they didn't want to do our estate. They didn't have time. We was booked up, kind of flipped them off. So I'm still kind of struggling through to get my network or team of extra services together. So if anybody out there, if there's an estate sale company that actually works in PG County or Montgomery County, Maryland, I'd like them to get in contact with me. That's it.
Chad, I think everything but the house has a presence in Maryland. I could be wrong, but I believe they do. We have one estate sale company that gets multiple locations from us. You might want to check them out, everythingbutthehouse.com. It's, EBTH.com, I think, or I think it's spelled out. But if there's anybody else in your area on the call,
Yeah.
Do you want to you want to have them contact support and we'll forward it to Belinda, or Belinda, do you want to just give them your email
Well, they can,
address and they can contact?
I give it
contact.
to them right here. It's
Okay.
B Reese.
Go ahead.
Like, okay, B Reese, B for Belinda. Reese is my last name. REES like in Sam. The Realtor at gmail.com. So B Reese the Realtor at gmail.com. Thanks.
And then Chad, you also there's a couple websites you recommend of accredited state sale companies where you can find an accredited company almost anywhere in the country. Would you share that with her also?
Yeah, so there's two of them. I need to look this up. There used to be three, but two of them have merged. So it's estate sales plural .net.com and .org. So estatesales.net.com and .org.
Okay. Yeah, I remember a while back. Yeah, you had someone on actually dealing with that. Okay. All right.
Excellent.
Okay.
Keep up the good work, Belinda. Thank you very much for participating.
Sure.
All right. Next up is phone number ending in 7653. You're up next.
Yes, I'm new. I just started. In fact, I didn't get my leads yet. But my question is, should I make the call first and then kind of, get to know them and then send them out the letter, or send them out the letter and then make the call?
Well, it works either way. What's most effective and what we teach is the general program is send a letter and then make the phone call. It warms up the call for you. So the script usually begins with, hi, this is Chad. I sent you a letter last week and had a couple minutes to follow up. I just wanted to make sure you got it and understood why we sent it. You remember seeing that?
Yeah.
And a lot of times they'll say no because they get a lot of mail, but it's still, for some reason, for me, it just makes it a lot easier to segue into to turn it into a conversation. Okay, well, no big deal. You got me on the phone, even better.
Right.
Listen, the reason I sent the letter and why I reached out, and then you go into, the reason you're calling. And it was just way more effective for me. Now, we do have people who are just tenacious prospectors that don't want to wait even for the 3 to 5 business days the mail takes, and they just jump on the phones, and then they send their mail behind it. I would say that it's always in your best interest to send the mail because you're, even the best prospecting day, you're going to have like a 2-to-1 contact rate. So you're going to get a hold of 50% of people on the phone. We pretty much are getting 100% open rates on the mail because it's a valid address. We do make sure that we're mailing to a valid address, and it came directly off public record. So you can pretty much bet you're getting 100% coverage there. So if you wanted, if your mail's not ready to go and you're ready to get on the phones, yeah, go ahead and do it. But best practices is usually, send a letter, then follow up with a phone call.
And I was just going to add another really good reason to send a letter. We hear all the time from people that you will have people that just aren't quite ready to deal with this yet. They'll put your letter away and call you a year later, where they probably won't save your voicemail that long. So it's really not a bad idea to get something physical in front of them that if they're not ready to do something, they can put in the file and reference later when they are ready. So the 1-2 combination.
A lot.
Yeah, it does happen. We've heard that numerous times from our subscribers.
Yeah, well, I signed up with Frank, and he's the one that referred me to you guys, and I have a lot of his letters. I started with, and I sent out about 100 total, maybe a little less, but I haven't gotten any responses. But I have no phone numbers, and I just don't have time to look up and try to get phone numbers. So I just sent the letters.
Now you're going to have phone numbers from now on. You're going to have great phone numbers. So if you pick up the phone, vast majority of the time you're going to get a hold of the people right away.
Yeah, that's why I thought that would be good. Okay, well I appreciate your feedback. Thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. Thanks for the question. Next up is phone number ending in 2019. You're up next.
Yes, this is Lola Carey from Texas. And I am calling because I keep saying I'm going to do my phone calls, and I don't. For whatever reason, I'm writing another contract or whatever. But my question to you is, I was getting ready to sign up for for you all to do the calling, and I'm wondering, okay, when they do the call, how do they set the appointment up? I mean, how do that actually work? Like, will I get a call from you all? Okay, I'm listening.
So, yeah, the point is we're trying to set a phone appointment. So once that happens, if it's a same day appointment, you'll get a text message and an email pretty much back to back, and sometimes even a phone call if we haven't spoken to you, and or kind of depends on how responsive you've been to our communication. You may get a text, an email, and a phone call. If it's not a same day appointment, you'll get an email saying, here's we've scheduled an appointment for you. So that's how you know about the appointments. When the call campaign is finished, you'll actually get a full analytics report for the ones that were reached, the voicemails that were left, and the appointments that were set. You'll get that in a kind of a comprehensive email.
Okay. And so then I will turn back out and reach out or just show up for the appointment, whichever, or do like the ones that they don't get a hold to, or a next day appointment. Do I need to call them to confirm the appointment, or do I just show up?
No. What we're doing, we're setting a phone appointment for you. So when you get an appointment, you're going to pick up where we let off. So what we found is ISAs, as good as they are at setting appointments, they're not necessarily good at getting listings. So we learned not to go that far. We go as far as to get you the phone appointment, and then you call and say, oh, hey, listen, you spoke to my ISA or my assistant yesterday. They said you were interested in selling a home. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me today. How can I help? And you kind of pick it up and take it from there.
Oh, okay. So that's how that works.
They're just doing the prospecting for you. It's still up to you to set the actual listing appointment. But we're like right now, just so you know, we're converting 2 out of 3 of those into actual listings. So if you have 3 appointments, statistically, you're going to get 2 listings off of those 3 phone appointments.
Okay. And then the second question I have is, when I was signing up for it, I only get like 50 leads a month. Now I got about 150. Okay. Am I going to be charged 50 cents every time they call? How is that charged?
We charge, it's $2.50 per lead. So if you place an order for all 3 months, then it would be 150 times $2.50. And what you get for that is we're going to call each of the 4 phone numbers that we provide, and we leave a voicemail unless you don't want us to for some reason. If we don't get hold of them, obviously.
But I think this will help clarify when, if you go through 100 leads once, they're going to disqualify half of them. So by the time they set an appointment for you, they will have determined that there is property that the people want to sell and they are interested in talking to you. And so there's going to be some that not interested, some that are already sold. So, you might start off with 100, but if you want them to call a second time, it might be 40 or 50 the second time, and by the time the third time they call, it could be down to 15 or 20. So you're not necessarily, they're rarely going to call them all 3 times. You decide after each campaign if you want another round or not, depending on the results of the first one. You follow me? But it's going to get increasingly cheaper every time because there'll be less survivors left, that are still interested, and hopefully you'll list some of them. You're not going to call those people again either.
Well, and Jim, the people who are actually making the phone calls actually update the CRM as well with that information. And if you want to exclude the ones that they've spoken with from ongoing calls, or in fact, if they talk to people and there is no interest, they automatically mark them as excluded, so they're cutting it down as well. So that's the whole point of doing it that way. They use that in our CRM. They make those edits, so they'll do that update for them.
Okay, then, because it's like I keep coming up with reasons not to make the call, so I need to have somebody to make the calls for me.
In 5 years, you're the first agent that ever said that to us that didn't want to get on the phone and prospect.
No, I didn't say I didn't want to get on the phone and prospect. I said I keep
kidding.
coming up with reason why. Like, for instance, I got a contractor, right? I can't call between 2 and 4.
Okay.
Or I got an appointment to go to. I can't call. And
sure.
It's like you have to make sure you're calling during the right time if you want a successful rate. So,
well, congratulations. Congratulations. You either got to do it yourself and be disciplined and do it, or have somebody else do it for you. Otherwise, you're just not. The call component is the most important part of this process. So, congratulations on recognizing if it's not getting done, take decisive action to have somebody else do it for you. That's why we added the ISA feature. I was only kidding you, but trust me, it's a common problem with realtors, either reluctance or just not having time to do it. So you have that option of right. So now you have that option of having it done for you, which is a whole lot better than not doing it at all.
Yes. Okay, then. Thank you so
much. You're very welcome. 2 more in the queue. Next up is phone number ending in 6001. You're up next.
Hey, everyone. My name is Mark Kruger. I'm down here in Fort Lauderdale, Broward County, Florida, and I'm brand new to Probate and, starting this system. So I got my first batch of leads, and I put it into my dialer, and, I'm dialing, getting some, connections and getting the conversation going with, prospective prospects. But I'm encountering that a number of them are saying, hey, we have an attorney, we're already working with an attorney, and, I understand that completely because attorneys around here are very plentiful. So how do I get my foot to start, besides regular bar association meetings and Chamber of Commerce, how can I communicate either via phone or email best practices, for getting past the gatekeeper and talking to attorneys?
And I think you have 2 questions. Yeah, I was going to say that. 2 questions. Go ahead, Chad. Sorry, you're exactly what I was going to say. Yep.
The most important thing is you learn to handle the objection. So if you've gone to the trouble to set up a dialer session and you have somebody on the phone, the best thing for you to do is to know what to say at that time. So the empathetic approach, kind of feel, felt, found. Like, oh yeah, well listen, I understand how you would, or I understand why you would say that. Most of our clients expect the attorney to do a lot more than they actually do. So just to help you understand our service, we bridge the gap between what the attorney does for you and all the needs that you have, like all the responsibility that you have. So think of us as, we kind of fill in that gap. So sometimes that means selling real estate, helping family members find suitable housing, even reinvesting the proceeds of the sale to make sure that you continue to grow the legacy. But usually that will get them to engage in a conversation with you. If they're trying to rush off the phone, one of the abrupt tricks that we use, a lot of times if they have real estate, it's been vacant for more than 30 days, and it's actually not covered by the insurance policy that's on it. So you can kind of say something shocking like, oh, okay, well, listen, I guess your attorney has set up the vacant house policy for you already. And that usually will stop them in their tracks. And you can explain to them one of the many things that you do that attorneys do not do is you help the family make sure that the asset is insured in the very beginning. Whether they plan to sell it, rent it, keep it in the family, whatever, it's important that the asset has insurance on it. And a lot of times they don't know that. So that'll really get them to wake up and go, oh, okay, well maybe the attorney didn't do everything. And then you can, pitch them other examples of things you can do that the attorney's not going to. So there's a couple of role play calls. If you listen back through, in the last couple of months, we've role played this. I would encourage you to go listen to those. And then the second part of your question, as far as how to, and that's really good you're thinking in that direction. So we teach kind of 2 prongs. You have a marketing effort, and then you have a referral network. And building out a referral network of probate attorneys is a really good way to get in front of those folks. And when they ask the attorney about a real estate agent, then you're the first one that comes to mind. Mail has proven to be not that effective. It seems to find its way into the gatekeeper's trash can. Phone
Correct.
calls, we're testing right now, and actually we've been able to get as high as 7%. So if we call 100 attorneys, we can get as many as 7 attorney appointments off a single phone campaign. We're not offering that for you guys yet. We're trying to get it down to a science before we roll it out. But the most effective way to do this is just simply go to the office. So you need to show up, and a good way to open the door is take your list of past clients and tell, you want to show up at the attorney's office and say, listen, I've got all these past clients. I've realized I've never helped them set up an estate plan. And because I'm helping families in probate now, it's pretty apparent that I should have done that. So I'm looking to meet attorneys who I can partner with to help me service my clients. And I noticed you guys because we pull the probate records every 30 days, and I kept seeing your name come up. Would John Doe be able to sit down and talk with me for a bit? So you're leading with them.
And then I also thought, in my market, we have also all the email addresses for the attorneys. I was going to do a bomb campaign, and tailor something around that as well.
Yep. So just focus on, like in your video, you want to focus on the main point, that you're complimentary to their business. Just say, listen, we have a local service here that focuses on the family first. So part of that includes real estate, financial services, helping family members find suitable housing, connecting them with social services. There's a lot of things we do. It really starts with us understanding your client's goals and then giving them options to choose from. And the idea here, Mr. Attorney, is that we are complementary to your business and make this more efficient for the family and for you, and that we get the absolute most amount of money out of the estate for them. So just click below to get on my calendar. And that would be BombBomb's great because they're probably going to watch that video. Correct, but that's what you want to cover. Show them how you're going to be different than any other real estate agent they can think of. And what we find is those attorneys usually kind of like embrace you and bring you into their firm like that. It's not uncommon to get all their divorce referrals, all their probate, sometimes even bankruptcy, because those attorneys, they do more than just probate typically. I think that's a good idea. I mean, if you're good, if you're comfortable with email marketing and you have the addresses, that could be a good use of your time.
Yeah,
I wanted to add,
marketing, and I like being on the phone.
I was just going to add also, we've had and I'm not familiar with how BonBon works. Chad and you obviously are, but agents in the past that have been successful with email have told us that they'll do a mail merge, and the only thing they put in the subject line is reference probate case number 67402. It looks like an official correspondence. It's more likely to get opened if you just reference the probate case number in the subject line. We've heard that from several of our agents. Make sense?
Sounds good. Thank you. Yep.
Yeah, I want to add another thing that we've done as well. As you may or may not know, we also offer you the opportunity to get a website created, which is built around helping you build credibility. And one of the features of that is specifically pointed at the attorneys. Now, the reality is the attorneys aren't going to be banging around looking at your website, but the potential people that you're dealing with, your potential customers, will do that, particularly if you reference it in the footer of your letter, which we encourage you to go do. And the other thing that you can tell the attorney when you talk to him is, I would like to put your information up on our website that we've designed specifically for probate, so that people will know that there's a good, solid attorney around that they can call on, and if they haven't already selected one, we're beginning to build traction for that website. So we're trying to do all the pieces that we can to tie all this together for you and make the attorneys be aware that you're very serious about this. And if you get an attorney who's interested, we'll certainly help you. All you can do is let us know, and we'll be happy to put that up on your website for you, because we help you manage that.
Correct. The website's going to be one of my next steps in the next 45 days.
All right, awesome. Well, when you do that and you get an attorney that you're working with, then offer to put him up there. Even give him a page, give him whatever you want. Doesn't matter. It's really very easy for you to do. It's kind of a one-time shot. We'll help you get it set up, and you can put Attorney John Jones up there, who's very helpful, and we've found them to be great to work with. And that's a great quid pro quo. If you offer to do that, you're giving them something that helps them get, additional traction in their marketplace for the stuff that they want to go do. You need a will prepared, or you need any kind of family planning, John Jones is a great guy to go do that, and that's a great thing to put up on your website. It also helps build your credibility.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have one more person in the queue. We do have room for more, but if not, last up this week is phone number ending in 6001. You're up next. 6001. Hang on a minute. I'm not sure what happened. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I'm going twice, but I don't have two questions, so I think I was the last one.
Oh, you were? Okay, yeah, you were in there twice. Sorry about that. All right, excellent. Last call, guys. We got another 10, 15 minutes, but we'll let you get back to work. If any other questions, issues, any success stories, anything else anybody wants to share, it's *6 and hit 1. Oh, there we go. We got 2. Thank you, guys. All right, next up is phone number ending, I'm not sure what's going on with my system today, but okay, now you should be unmuted. Phone number ending in 9945. You're up next.
Hi, guys. My name is Jeremy Charles. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Jeremy. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. And I have a question. I have this one particular lead that I've been following up with since, I want to say, August, and the probate finally finalized. And now I spoke with him today just to check in to see how we can move things forward. She said the attorney said to wait 60 more days. Is there a reason why that has to take place?
What state are you in? What part of the country?
South Florida.
Okay. Chad?
Not knowing the full context of it, it's hard to tell. I mean, with the probate already having been settled, there's nothing legally that says you have to wait to sell real estate. There must be some other variable that he knows about that we don't, that made him give that advice. So, I mean, what I would encourage you to do next time is just ask another, keep asking questions until you understand the situation. I mean, it's hard to tell what it is. It could be a million different things that's but I don't know of anything legally. What I do know is that if they want to sell and you believe it's in their best interest, you can absolutely list the home for sale right now. And you can, get it listed and then call the attorney and say, listen, I've met with John Doe, and he's hired me to list his home. He did say that he might need 60 days. So I just wanted to touch base with you and see if there's anything specific that you need to see in the MLS agreement, or if you actually need me to withhold it from the MLS for 60 days. And then build that relationship with the attorney and show them that you're being proactive, you're not trying to get in the way. But I would encourage you to go ahead and try to get the listing agreement. It's common for attorneys to say that during the probate process, because most real estate agents have simply been a pain in their ass in the past. So they don't want to create more work and headaches than they have to. So they just tell the family to just hold off. We'll tell you when you can sell it. And yes, that you can do that, but it's usually best for the family if you can show them how to get the home on the market and get it under contract contingent upon court approval, and then you get court approval and you can move forward. And I think Jim has done those inside of 60 days before. But I don't know. I mean, it's probably something valid that he's telling them to wait since the probate's closed. I guess I would either, just call them back and ask and say, listen, I thought about this, and I actually talked to one of my mentors, and they couldn't really think of a reason. So I just wanted to ask, what's the reason you're looking to wait 60 days? Because my concern is that in 60 days of follow-up, someone else might convince them that it's in their best interest to go ahead and get the house on the market before you talk to them again. So I really would encourage you to find a reason to call them today and maybe go ahead and do the market research and say, guys, listen, I was looking at the market today and the inventory is just low for what you have. I think we could actually sell this for X amount. can you help me understand what the 60 days was all about? And like lead with value, like lead with something they want to know, like what the home is worth or what you could sell it for, or how you would sell it to open the conversation, and then see what that is. I mean, they're probably going to know exactly what it is if you ask. And if you like I said, if you think they should list, then go ahead and get it listed, and then go introduce yourself to the attorney and make sure that you're not working against him or her.
Well, sometimes the shortest distance is a straight line. You could also just say, well, that's kind of unusual in this marketplace, given what I know about this with all of the business that I've done and all the probates I've worked with. Do you mind if I you have your permission to give the attorney a call and find out why he's telling you that? Because generally that's kind of not the case, and maybe I can help you get this done a little bit quicker. Do you mind if I call the attorney? And that sometimes can get you right there. Say, well, sure, maybe go do that for me. I don't know what the answer is. I just listen to what they say. And then you can say, I talked to John Jones. He asked me to give you a call, and there you got your conversation started. Now you're serious about it.
Okay, that sounds like great stuff. I took down some notes. I will definitely do that today.
Awesome. We appreciate it. Excellent, guys. So that is the last caller for today, guys. Thank you so much I always like to end these calls the same way. You took almost an hour out of your day to be here. We really appreciate it. Some great success stories. Jim Forsythe, thank you. A couple agents that are having good success. We've had some good ideas, some good suggestions. I always challenge you, take one thing, one idea, one thing that inspired you on today's call. Please, go out and put it into action and come back and share it with the group next Thursday. And got a lot of feedback in the background there, guys. Sorry. Hopefully you can hear me. But and please don't miss our mastermind call next Wednesday, 2:00 next Wednesday. Same phone number. Come back and let's do some role playing, and we will talk to you all same time next Thursday. Make it a great week, guys. Thank you so much. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.